Satnam, aloha. Just want to make sure that we're on. I haven't done a live YouTube in a while. Okay, we're on. So, I hope that you're doing well, all of you, through this time of great pressure. And I just wanted to talk about the south node of the moon and Pluto, which there's lots of stuff on YouTube about this, but I want to give my interpretation, my point of view. So the south node is conjunct with Pluto, and they're in the shadow pattern of Psychosis, the two of them, the gift of inspiration, and the city is sanctity or holiness. So this really indicates a deep elimination and purging of the past. And it's funny how our lives can show us these archetypes if we're, if our eyes are open and we can see, right, and pay attention. So last night I was plunging my sink, right, that was stuck, right, with a kitchen plunger, and I juice daily, so the pulp was stuck in the drain, and I try not to use Draino, right, it's really bad for Mother Earth. So as I'm plunging, right, just giving her, I was thinking, wow, this is so like Pluto conjunct the south node of the moon, because it's about releasing the stuck gunk in the mind and in the emotional body so that the divine energy of the soul can start to flow effortlessly into our lives. So this time that we're in right now, we're really purifying ourselves for the Aquarian Age. And in particular, we're purifying the mind and the emotional body. So remember that the mind is the past. And when we're living in our mind, which most people on this planet are living in their mind, and this is the shadow of Psychosis, and we're in this for quite a while, right? So when we're in this, when we're in our mind, living in our mind, we're thinking either about the past or we're imagining the future, which is really projecting, right? Projecting the past into the future. Or we're listening to the mind doing its commentary, right, of the present moment. This is the judgment and the opinions, either out there or directed towards yourself. So the mind structures are being dismantled for the Aquarian Age because it's a false reality. It's not real. And what is that gunk that's coming up in our lives? Our memories, our personal memories from this lifetime, our past life memories, and our ancestral memories too. And what the really juicy stuff, right, of this gunk is the stuck emotions. So this can be, grieving. You'll spontaneously start to grieve because you've never really fully experienced grieving, maybe when a loved one passed away. And perhaps your mind stuffed it down with your conditioning. The mind has a timeline for grief. Okay, it's been a few weeks or it's been a month. It's time to get on with it. That's long enough. And you'll have people around you that will also reflect that back to you, So that all gets stuck in the drain, And I'm seeing more and more people having spontaneous emotions arising because that mind is becoming weaker and weaker with each passing day. So we won't be able to stuff those emotions down any longer. So you may be feeling some of that. Maybe you're feeling the presence of your ancestors. I'm really feeling the presence of my ancestors around, and they're here to communicate to you. They haven't gone away. They live on the other side of the veil, but they also live in your heart. So if you feel an ancestor trying to reach you, just be quiet, right? Stop and be quiet and listen, right? Listen, there's a message coming through because they're here to support us through this, So this is part of our growth and evolution into the new age. And we're evolving through the emotional body. And there's no way, no how that we can get around this capital T truth. So the shadow of psychosis, it's about clinging to knowledge and using this to navigate through life, right? This is the workshop junkies, the training junkies. You know, I totally admit I was one of them. And this is really about collecting facts and figures and, you know, leaning on systems for security. And this is just another way of living your life through your mind. And even astrology, which I love, dare I say it, can be used to live your life through the mind. And I know people, they won't even leave the house if there's a bad transit, right? A Mercury retrograde, for example. Because their mind becomes obsessive about it, with the shadow pattern. So even that too, right? If you've delved too much into the system of astrology, it can drive you batty, it can drive you crazy, the people that follow astrology. And I myself, I mean, I'm feeling the resistance of my soul, even my physical body, when I've taken in too much information, right? If you follow human design, I'm a projector, right? And we're designed to take lots and lots of information. But even me, I'm reaching my limit. Right? So I'll feel constricted inside, right? Constricted inside, constricted in the mind, constricted in the physical, constricted in the emotional. And this closes me off to inspiration. And that's the gift of this pattern, is inspiration. So when your mind is cluttered with facts and figures and systems and shoulds and should nots and dogma, right, and all that mental noise, there's no room for inspiration, right? This is to become filled with spirit. There's no room for spirit to come in. So those thoughts, you know, the inspirational thoughts that will come, you know, if you really embrace this time that we're in, they come from a place beyond the mind, right? And these thoughts truly serve you. They serve your community and they serve humanity. So we have to remember that we're multidimensional beings. And yes, we live on the physical plane, and we live on the astral plane too. And most of us, all of us on this planet, we live on the mental plane. This is what we're letting go of. But there are also other planes of existence where the real you lives, the you within you. So energies from these higher planes are reaching down. Remember I talked about grace in the last video? The grace comes from the higher planes that are reaching down through the mental plane, through the astral plane, that's our emotions and our desire nature, and into this physical plane. So this is the purification that's really taking place. It's a cleansing of all of that gunk. And this is the power of grace, right? This is the cosmic Draino to bring your authentic self into your physical existence. So your authentic self, the you within you that lives in higher dimensions, is coming more and more into your physical body, into this physical plane. So this is very cool, right? But it can be very painful if you haven't been doing your spiritual work. So what's your spiritual work? It's not just about your meditation practice, your sadhana, if you're a Kundalini yoga teacher or student, right? It's not all, people think, oh, I just do my sadhana and then I'm done, right? It's over. That's only one of the tools that you use. Your personal work is addressing the content of your unconscious mind, right? And so if you follow Course in Miracles talks about this. It's like an unwatched mind, right? When you go unconscious, an unwatched mind. So thoughts are coming in, you're not watching them. Like maybe you're having judging thoughts during the day. Boom, right? You're not watching, and they go into the subconscious, and then you don't deal with the subconscious through meditation or dream work, and then it trickles down into the unconscious mind, and then it's really more difficult to get at. Okay, so now we're addressing the content of our unconscious mind, and this is our shadow work, and this is taking responsibility for the dark areas of your psyche that you can't see, right? You can't see it yourself, but you can see it in the external. You can see it in the reflection. Remember, the universe is a big, huge mirror. So you're going to see your shadow out here. Okay, and then letting go of your past, of course. And this is by doing inner child work. And this is the purification of your astral body, your emotional body. So your inner child is really the doorway into healing your ancestors. Okay, it's all there. The blueprint's all there from your childhood. So, you know, sometimes I ask my higher self in frustration, right? Is this a waste of my time and energy, right? Not many people seem to be interested in this work that I'm really fired up about, right? Most people, they want a simple, superficial magic pill answer to end their suffering. And what I hear back all the time is shut up and be patient and wait and commit, right? So commitment is the gift of my soul purpose, is commitment. And boy, do I get tested over and over and over again. I can't tell you how many times I've wanted to quit, but I keep going, I keep showing up, and I keep doing this work and banging the drum and hoping people are finally gonna, hey, this out here is not working anymore. Maybe it's time to go inside, right, and do this shadow work. With that said, though, people are coming. The people that I work with, I just love. Okay. So also, let's have some water here. So also, this shadow of psychosis is about worshiping another person. So it's about putting people on pedestals, especially teachers, right, and gurus. And you may have seen this out in the world now with you know, people getting all upset about people touching gurus' feet and things like that, right? Getting really all offended. But we do this in the shadow pattern. We put people, especially teachers, gurus, on pedestals, and we want them to do all the work, right? This was the old way in the Piscean age, was the master. You go serve the master, you know, sometimes 12 years. First of all, you'd have to prove that you were worthy, right? You were worthy. You'd have to come from a good family. This is India. Serve the master for 12 years, and maybe the master will give you a mantra or something like that, right, to help you out. So there was this exchange. But the exchange was the master would take on all your karmas, right? So that was the exchange. And now in the Aquarian age, no, it's not going to work like that, because we have to become our own master. We have to become our own master. And master means to master the lower S self, right? Master the ego and the mind. So this is the old pattern, right? The old shadow that we have to let go of. And it's the belief that we can't do it, right? That we can't do this ourselves. We can't become our own master. Right? So it's like, give me the darshan, right? I'll touch your feet, I'll worship you, and then I'll be saved. Or if you're a fundamentalist Christian, I'll make Jesus Christ my Lord and Savior, and then I'll be saved from my suffering. And maybe if you're into the aliens, right? The aliens, the Ashtar Command's going to come down and save us all, right? All I have to do is follow these dogmatic rules. And this is all just more mind stuff. You know, the mind wants mental certainty, and the mind wants answers to try to control life, right? So the questions of the mind will never end, right? Never end. You're never going to find the answers that will put the mind finally at rest. The mind comes at rest when you realize who you really are, right? So this is the journey of self-realization. And then the mind comes to rest. And then it takes its true position, not as your authority, but as a tool, as a servant for you, right? So we have to remember that life is a great mystery, and the unknown is a mystery. And the Aquarian age is bringing us more and more into this unknown, into this uncertainty. There's no certainty here. You know, insurance companies and stuff really try to prey on people's fears. Government tries to prey on people's fears. Oh, do this, give me all your power, and then I'll make you feel safe, right? It's not. If you really tune into yourself, you can feel this fear, right? This fear of what's going to happen tomorrow, right? The fear of the future. So we really just have to embrace, we have to let go, we have to trust. So the power animal for this particular gene key, I want to put it up, is the panther. Do you see him? The panther. Isn't that beautiful? So every gene key has a here so you can see him. There he is. So every gene key has a like a power animal, a totem. And so if you're part of my prosperity program, remember I talked about the dolphin, right? So that's connected to the 27. So so this one's connected to the Black Panther. And so as you can see here, like the Black Panther, right, is very adaptable. The Black Panther can live in all kinds of different climates and survive. And then it's silently waiting patiently for its prey. And it can leap up to 20 feet to get its prey. So the Black Panther, to me, meditating on this, is the unknown. It's the feminine, right? It's the mystery that you can't see. And what's it waiting for? What's that unknown waiting for? What's its prey? It's waiting for your ego, right? To pounce on your ego. And that's your false self, the self you believe yourself to be, right? So then you can dissolve into your higher self, your authentic self, the real you, right? So that you can stop worshiping God. That's what the shadow pattern is all about. It's about worshiping something outside of you, right? Worshiping, so we can stop worshiping God and become God. We can stop worshiping the divine and become the divine, the embodiment of the divine. So this is the gift, right? The city is sanctity, which is holiness, right? So that we can start to become holy again. You know, I really tune into our ancient history as humans and just feeling that our saintliness, our holiness, right, walking on this planet is coming back. So the Black Panther is waiting for us all, right? And this is the ego, right? Feeling the uncertainty and the fear, and because the ego knows the Black Panther is coming for us. And that's really death, right? Physical death. Physical death. But remember, as souls, we are never born and will never die. We are an eternal being. We just have to stop listening to that tricky ego in mind that are fooling us and thinking that we're finite, right? So you can go willingly before the Black Panther, right? You can go willingly before the unknown, or you can go kicking and screaming, which creates way more suffering. And I love this, right? There's two ways of healing. There's the light as a feather method, and then there's the 2x4 method. So it's best to just pick the light as a feather method, you know, and just willingly start to do this work. It's going to make it a lot easier. So this time is really about unbinding yourself from your mind and knowing that you live beyond the mind, right? You live in all these other higher frequency planes. So it's about letting go, stop worshiping the mind, and start listening to your higher self, your higher guidance. And it's about living your life without answers, right? Because the mind is always why, and I need the proof, and I need this, and I need that. Can you stop listening to your mind and start living your life without answers, right? It's I don't know. There's a lot of power in the words I don't know. Because when you say I don't know, then you're opening up, right? That clutter of psychosis leaves so that inspiration can come through. So when you say I don't know, the paradox is then you do know. You know everything. You're tapped into the higher wisdom. Okay, there's some people here. I wasn't expecting people here. Oh, Hari Daskar is here, right on. Oh, Angie B, my dad died last year. You know, there's been so much death that the people that I work with and then just people that I know here on the island. Lots and lots of death. So the best way that we can honor our loved ones that have passed on, right, is to open our hearts, because in a way that they're almost, my sense is that they almost sacrifice themselves or cut their life short or something so that you can open your heart, because really they don't die, right? There's no such thing. They're still here in terms of your relationship, right? They're still, that person is still in your heart. So the best way, Angie B and everybody listening, is the best way to honor the people that have passed on is to really use that, right? Use that sadness and sorrow and grief to open your heart, right? That's the whole purpose when our loved ones go, right? Is to open our heart. Oh, Lisa, I've had an unprovoked attack by a coworker. I wonder if that has to do with psychosis vibe in the air. Possibly, but also to look at it, like use everything in your life right now. All your experiences, we learn through experiences, right? The divine God can be found in our experiences. And again, so bring that in. Like, how did I feel when that happened to me? Don't try to understand it with your mind, because we're evolving through our emotional body. Oh, I felt afraid. I felt a lot of fear. Oh, that reminds me what happened to me when in my first marriage, and I felt attacked. And oh, and that reminds me of when I was in high school, and that reminds me of when I was in elementary school. You go right back to the beginning, right? Because we attract who we are. We attract who we are. And I'm not saying that you're an attacking person, right? But it's about getting at those emotions that are trapped within you, right? The gunk, the plunger, okay? The healing intensity the healing energy is very, very intense right now. Okay. Okay, Lisa appreciates. Thank you, Lisa. So, Mike C. Should I get on with my earth purpose, even though I may still be coming from a lower place? Yeah. Should I get on with my earth purpose, even though I may still be coming from a lower place, or do all the internal work first? Well, you're doing both, right? So remember, there's no real external. That's the paradox, right? There's no real out there. There's only in here. And again, don't understand it through the mind, right? Or make a job out of it. Make a job out of your purpose. That your purpose may be as simple as just being yourself, right? Out in the world. So don't go at this or that, because here it is. So the mind likes to postpone and procrastinate. So the mind will say, well, you're not ready yet, right? You're not ready yet. You need to do this first, and then you can move forward with your purpose. Or you need more qualifications. You need to go back to school, right? And all this is the mind game to postpone you from, being yourself, being your authentic self. I mean, that's number one priority right now in the Aquarian Age, is that you have to be yourself. And sometimes you need to know that life is like groomed you and molded you and pressurized you to be yourself, and so that you are ready through all of your life experiences, right? And so everything around you is going to show you what your purpose is. Every interaction with strangers will show you what your purpose is, right? So it's about, we really learn about that through our giving. Like sometimes it really amazes me sometimes. Oh, that was awesome what came out of me. I didn't know that was in me, but that other person brought it out in me. Right? So it's about keeping your heart open and paying attention. Okay, so that's the video. And then a quick reminder that my 12-week emotional freedom program starts April 20th. And this is where you go through a deep deconditioning of all that programming you received from the womb up to 21 years of age. And I've had past participants say that the biggest surprise of through the program is how smoother their relationships became. And this was with family members, work colleagues, business partners, spouses, that kind of thing. It's a lot smoother. So this program is really about being free in this lifetime, and that's what we all want. We really, each one of us wants to be free, but the ego interprets that as, oh, I need that perfect relationship. I need more money. I need that perfect career. I need the nice shoes, right? The shiny car. I need something out here. So then I'll feel free. But freedom is right here in this lifetime. And in truth, we're already free, but we need to get rid of all this gunk, right? All the gunk and all the blocks that are preventing us from really living our truth and living free in this lifetime. Okay? So 33% off, that's ending soon. And you work closely with me each week. So there's no hiding, right? I can sniff out the victim and the ego from 10 miles away off a person. So really check this out if you feel called. It's a 12-week program. It's really deep, right? It's intense, but it's worth it. This work is so worth it. Okay. Okay, so thank you for joining me, and I'm sure that you're already subscribed. This is for the people that watch later, so ring the bell, subscribe if not already, and you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, where I post daily. And have an amazing day, morning, evening, wherever you are. And also, if you're not on the PPP program, the Powerful Playful Prosperity program, that's a free program, and we're already in the module 2, so you can still join in, and I'll put the links down below. Okay? And that's it. If there's any more questions, I don't see any more questions. Okay.